Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for listening to another episode of Strange Happenings, brought to you by Space City X-Files. If you're not familiar with this series, it's a short story, free-form, where we talk about any and all things strange in an informal setting. So here there could be many different topics, or just one. Really depends on what we've come across earlier in the week. So today we're going to be talking about the possibility of the Earth being alive. Not just alive, but conscious and sentient. That's right. Kind of makes you wish you didn't throw your trash out the car window this morning, huh? Just kidding. We know you didn't do that. So, what are some of the reasons people are drawn to believe such a claim? Let's look at a few. So one of the leading theories that make a good argument is something called the Gaia Hypothesis. Now, this theory was originated by James Lovelock and Lynn Margulis, and it suggests that the Earth is a self-regulating system that maintains conditions necessary for sustaining life. A homeostasis made up from Earth's biosphere, atmosphere, oceans, and geology that interact in a complex way to create a kind of feedback loop, allowing the Earth to regulate its own environment. So in a sense, they're all talking to each other. And because of this fact about the Earth, and it is a fact, it's easy to think that this miraculous feat is the accomplishment of something intelligent and conscious. The Gaia Hypothesis, though, talks about how in turn the Earth can provide a place for us to live, but others would say our home and existence is just a byproduct of Earth's favorable conditions, which kind of makes sense. And being humans, and for the meantime thinking that, or at least that we know of, we're the only intelligent creatures in all the universe, it's easy to come to the conclusion that everything is for us. But how amazing and humbling would it be to find out that if not only Earth, but every planet in our solar system was a conscious, sentient organism that had its own purpose and agenda. This could be a very scary thought too, because although Earth is operating in a way that allows us to live peacefully now, that could change. And it's happened before. Long ago, the Earth changed its pattern in a way that started to allow for single-celled organisms to form, and in turn that paved the way for more complex ones, which in turn gave way to humans. And I'll include a picture of the Earth demonstrating, a picture of it from space, and what it is that it's basically a time lapse of a year's time. And what I'm going to do is also include an observation made by a man named Lewis Thomas that further illustrates the picture. And I'll go ahead and read that now. So it reads, "Viewed from the distance of the moon, the astonishing thing about the Earth, catching the breath, is that it's alive. The photo shows the dry, pounded surface of the moon in the foreground, dry as an old bone. Aloft, floating free beneath the moist, gleaming membrane of the blue sky, is the rising Earth, the only exuberant thing in this part of the cosmos. If you could look long enough, you would see the swirling of the great drifts of the white clouds, covering and uncovering the half-hidden masses of land. If you had been looking for a very long geologic time, you could have seen the continents themselves in motion, drifting apart on their crustal plates, held afloat by the fire beneath. It has the organized, self-contained look of a live creature, full of information and marvelously skilled in handling the sun." That's kind of poetic, right? And take a look at the photo attached to while you're at it. And with every time lapse of a year, the frost sets in and disappears, and what it resembles is like a set of lungs breathing in the very force that sustains life. The next reason that leads some to believe the Earth is alive is its ability to protect itself from harm. For example, the Earth's magnetic fields interacts with charged particles emitted by the sun, creating a region around the Earth known as the magnetosphere. The magnetosphere can act as a shield, protecting the Earth from some of the harmful effects of solar wind and radiation. This can indirectly help to reduce the risk of impacts from asteroids and other objects in space, as the magnetosphere helps to deflect of the charged particles and energetic radiation that could otherwise interact with and potentially deflect the trajectory of these harmful objects. So, in a way, it's kind of like us with our intuition. So if we see danger, we take action to avoid it, even if the danger is not fully present. From our experiences and our natural instinct to protect our life, to hold our life as something that's valuable, we can almost foresee dangers and take measures to navigate around them. So now I think we're starting to see that we have more and more traits in common. And again, there are many theories on why this is to be so. Some would say, well, we have the same grand creator, meaning God. Or some might say, well, we came from the earth and evolved into an intelligent species that's now inherited the very thing that helped create us, and it's ours now to subdue and care for. And then there are some that say, well, we came from the earth, but it does not belong to us. We are here to work for it, and in turn we have our existence, if we do not attempt to destroy it. Look at the human body, for example. When we think of ourselves or talk about who we are or what we do as a whole, we do so as a whole, or with the persona, if you will. I'm Rick, presenting this show to you now, and who I am is a culmination of life experiences that shape me into what you hear talking today. But in reality, it's a multitude of things going on inside our own body, down to the tiniest cell, that keep us alive. We could not live on without their help. Although, in relation to how we see other people, these cells or these things that work behind the scenes are not even an afterthought. They get no respect, I tell you. Anyways, no matter what category you fall into personally, I think we can all appreciate the beautiful wonder that is our home planet Earth. And we should do whatever we can to protect it and not make it sick. Because, seeing that we do share many characteristics, what does the human body do when it detects something harmful inside it? Ever ran a fever? Before we go, I'd like to share my observation of where we are in the grand scheme of things. And to do that, we need to look at the universe. So in the vast expanse of space above our sky, there is a place estimated to be an area of about 93 light years in diameter. Now, of course, this is an approximate number, and it's still up for debate. But it's close, and anyways, that's a huge space, right? And this space is filled with an incredibly large, web-like formation known as the cosmic web. In this cosmic web, there are billions and billions of galaxies, some still being formed, some still being discovered today by the James Webb Telescope monitored by NASA. And in these galaxies, there happens to be billions and billions of stars and planets. And in case you need a refresher, our galaxy is the Milky Way, our star is the Sun, and Earth is where you are now. Probably. If you're not on Earth and you're listening to this, please share it with whoever's around you. We'd sure appreciate that. Now, zooming in with the magnifying glass or scope or something, you would see Earth and be like, man, this place is huge. All the hustle and bustle of the streets and everyday life. There's so many beautiful places on this planet to see. It would likely take a whole lifetime, a few lifetimes, to be able to visit them all meaningfully. But if you zoom out a bit, out into our solar system, well, the Earth wouldn't look so big. And if you went out a little further, there would be no solar system. All you would see is the Milky Way galaxy, which is estimated to have a diameter of 100,000 light years. And if you were on the outside looking in on the Milky Way, it would look like a beautifully colored swirl amongst many other beautifully colored swirls. So, what's my point here? My point is that somewhere on that swirl, with a diameter of 100,000 light years, there's the teeniest, tiniest little speck somewhere on it. And that would be us. Isn't that a crazy thought? As intricate and complex as our modern day world is, we're still just a teeny, tiny little speck on a swirl of gas and dust floating out in the infinite expanse of dark space. One thing to keep in mind is that there are billions and billions of those swirls just like us out there. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Strange Happening, guys. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next one. So until we meet again, this is Rick telling you to keep exploring.